He rode forth conquering and to conquer, a lord of time, of this realm emperor. His steed so pale, sure deadly was his dart, and strong the hand that held his iron rod. Within the walls of that dark tower mewed up, his captives cry for freedom and for light, and one who quaffed too deeply his red wine must ride a nightmare to the ocean's bed. And now for a little quiz. What connection do you find between the people depicted in these pictures? Edmund Halley, born the 8th of November 1656, died in Greenwich near London on the 14th of January 1742. English astronomer and mathematician. A famous comet was named after him. Dwight D. for David Eisenhower, born on the 14th of October 1890 in Denison, Texas, died on March the 28th, 1969, Washington, D.C. 34th President of the United States, 1953 to 61, and Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces to Western Europe during World War II. Third, Erwin or Johannes Eugen Rommel, by name the Desert Fox, German general, born on the 15th of November in 1891 and died on October the 14th, 1944. German Field Marshal, known for his spectacular victories as commander of the Afrika Korps in the Second World War. Montgomery of Alamein, 1st Viscount, by name Monty, born November the 17th, 1887, died March the 24th, 1976. British Field Marshal, an outstanding Allied commander in the Second World War. Yet William himself, William I, by name William the Conqueror, or the Bastard, or William of Normandy, in French Guillaume le Conquérant, or le Bâtard, or Guillaume de Normandie. Born probably in 1028, Falaise, Normandy, died the 9th of September 1087 in Rouen. My name is Julian Scutts, and I'm a student of both history and literature. And in both these fields one comes across the phenomenon of, let us say, coincidences. Of course, in literature, the author has the freedom to make things happen just as he or she wishes and thinks best. But if such things happen in a way that doesn't conform to our normal expectations, we say that the plot constructed on the basis of such conveniences is contrived. The strange thing is that in history we find very similar cases of coincidence which cannot be readily explained in terms of normal causation. What then? What about the world-famous Kennedy and Lincoln coincidences? Now I wish to bring to your attention a different case. As you may have gathered, the clip so far has pointed to similarities underlying the Normandy invasion of 1066 and the Allied invasion of 1944. Here I will submit to your attention a number of coincidences, and it is for you to judge whether these should be deemed trivial or whether they are pointers to some deeper level of significance. Who would then be the author? Well, I will leave that for you to judge. By the way, one of the bynames of William the Conqueror was not particularly flattering, nor was it meant to be. William the Bastard. But one or two notable figures in history who were born out of wedlock have made great contributions to the defense of Western Europe or Christendom. Charles Martel at the Battle of Tours, and Don John at the naval battle of Lepanto. William was evidently not in the good books of certain scribes and clerics in his day who were not too smitten by his rule of England. Supposedly it's just a quirk, but D-Day occurred on the 6th day of the 6th month. Therefore we have the 6-6 combination as in the year 1066. Now we come on to the date, the 14th of October. The Battle of Hastings took place on Saturday, the 14th of October, 1066, in accordance, of course, with the then prevalent Julian calendar. That day also coincided with a Jewish festival, Shmini Atzeret, the closing festival after Sukkot, which has to do with, one might say, the final days. President Eisenhower was born on October the 14th, 1890, and Feldmarschall Rommel died on October the 14th as a result of, one might say, obligatory suicide. When we hear the name Montgomery, we think, of course, in the first place of Monty, who was not only actively engaged on the Africa front, but also in Normandy. There was also a Norman magnate by the name of Roger de Montgomery, who assisted William during the days of the conquest of England. Quite possibly, in fact probably, on the battlefield, though some would dispute this and say he helped Matilda, William's wife, on the home front. And a third point is that Rommel was seriously injured while being driven in a car through the village of Montgomery-Foix after leaving, strangely enough, Falaise, where William was born. Another interesting point about the 6th of June, of course the date of the invasion. Why wasn't Rommel on the spot on that most portentous of days? The reason was quite simply that his wife celebrated her birthday on that day, so he was away in Germany. Perhaps that lost him very many valuable hours in preparation for the defense of the Normandy coast. Now, we saw a picture of Edmund Halley, who discovered the comet, or rather found out that it returned to the Earth every 75-76 years. In fact, we now know that it was Halley's comet which appeared in April 1066 and was understood by many to be a portent of some great change in England. And that was not only true of people in England, people all over the continent had this view. And the last time Halley's comet came close to the Earth, it wasn't readily visible, was in 1986, the 900th anniversary of the Doomsday Book, in fact. And also, of course, the year of Chernobyl and the events which led to the breakup of the Soviet Union, the fall of the Berlin Wall. And one notes that Halley's comet does seem to coincide with historical dates of great significance.